Have you ever wondered what the facility guard looks like under that balaclava? Have you always wanted to look like the coolest anti-Foundation member breaching the facility? Or have you thought to yourself that the scientists need to age up about an extra 30 years? Well, don't you worry, little Nancy Wheeler, as Norwood themselves have finally got around to reworking all of the human models in Secret Laboratory. And we're going to be going over each one of them just to see how different they are. Plus, we have the artist of the models going into more detail himself, explaining the design decisions in these new models. So let's stop wasting any more time, grab your juice box, and let's get right into the details. The person behind the human rework was Norwood's artists themselves, Purple Goop, who was asked some questions from another fellow Norwooder, Whimser. Purple Goop was first asked, going into the project, were there any personal goals you set for yourself? Now, to help you guys understand when Purple Goop is talking and when I'm talking, I'm going to give Purple Goop a very nice, very subtle, posh British accent, okay? The goal was to get the character models to a higher standard of quality, give them a distinct look, and increase the amount of animations. Yeah, so basically, the models won't be looking like this anymore with the little noodle arms. What were some of the inspirations for the new models? Now it's about time we see these bad boys. Starting with the ones we've had glimpses at before. The MTF model, who looks just about ready to go scuba diving with professional swimmers. The main inspiration for the MTF model was the SAS operative from CSGO, as it fit the military but uncommon look I was looking for. From there, I started freestyling the actual equipment. This was the first model that I had reworked. Okay guys, so the model is inspired from CSGO. You can stop bullying the MTF for looking like the Combine now, alright? Moving on from the MTF, we got the Chaos Insurgent model, which I think I speak for everyone when I say this guy is looking amazing. Like, damn son, you didn't have to raid this place with so much class. The Chaos Insurgent was not inspired by anything in particular. I went for a militant force with somewhat outdated gear and a pinch of cult-like traits, such as the Chaos symbol painted on their helmet. The gear was also supposed to be good for cold climates and camping/climbing. The idea being that they had to walk and climb for a bit due to vehicles being inoperable for the majority of their incursion into Site 02. Don't they rock up in a car? Now we are getting to the even more interesting models, starting with the good old D-boy, who has managed to keep hold of his beanie during his rework, and he's got himself a white shirt and actual jumpsuit overalls. And let's not forget, look at those shoes, my guy. Holy shit. My guy's got that Site 02 drip. No cap. Sorry about that. Next we got the scientist, who's gained an actual lab coat, lost the tie, amongst other things. And, oh, he looks like he's about to sit me down and start saying, oh, back in my day. Like, this model looks absolutely amazing, and this scientist is meant to be older, but I can't imagine this guy holding the micro HID. Guy looks like a change in wind direction could make him lose his free bus pass. The scientists in Class D have purposely been kept as similar as possible to their original models. I especially tried to keep as much as the old Class D as possible. Initially, the scientist wasn't supposed to have a lab coat, going more for a casual look, as I thought that scientists wearing lab coats at all times was a bit cartoonish. But I ended up keeping the coat after receiving feedback and opinions from the teams and Hubert himself. Now we get into what, in my opinion, is the most dramatic rework out of all the human models. We've got the facility guard, or should I say, Frank West from Dead Rising, or Ash from Evil Dead, or Handsome Shrek from Shrek 2. God, what a great film. But with all that out my system, this is my favourite model out of all of them. And I'm so excited to see this big-nosed gamer in the facility saving those D-Class. Finally, the guard is where I try to make the facility closer to a more common workplace, to normalize the absurdity that is the SCP Foundation. People simply come to work here, contrasting mundanity with the world-ending entities of the SCP universe. I also wanted to give him a face, making him more unique as a class and adding more character to the human factions. All of these reworked humans were made in Blender for both modeling and animating, with Substance Painter for texturing. Were there any areas that took priority when making the new models? I would say the faces, as they are very hard to get right, with the Fuse models already having so much by default, like hair, the inside of the mouth, facial rigging. There was certainly a lot of features to live up to. I had to spend the most time and effort on these. Now, with all of the human models being reworked, that also means all the animations are being reworked as well, which includes brand new animations for the finer detailed moments. So this means we'll finally have better reload animations and not whatever this monstrosity is. What can you tell us about your rework of animations as a whole? I tried to give quantity and quality with this one. Starting from scratch, remaking all the existing animations, and also adding all of those missing interactions, like using items or jumping while running. It was hard. Full body animations require a lot more experience than FPS animations, so I had to adjust animations over and over, as I would spot unrealistic movements every time I would revisit an animation after a bit of time had passed, especially with the running animations. I hope the result was worth it and that people will enjoy these new animations more than the previous ones. How do you hope players perceive the new models and animations? I hope they will feel more alive and fitting in this environment, as well as more immediately distinguishable from each other during gameplay. And that wraps it up for the Q&A with Purple Goop. I'm so sorry for turning you British. If you guys would like further insight, be sure to check out the post itself for more interesting details and Purple Goop's previous experience. And with all that being said, it's time we start to say our goodbyes to the models we've had since the game's launch and make way for new and improved human models instead. What do you guys think of the new models? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. But with all that being said, thank you all for watching. Stay safe out there, drink plenty of water, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.